this crazy world, it's so hard to unwind. So I'm taking time just for me. Gonna find my peace, let my soul be free. In the quiet moments, that's where I'll find a little room to breathe and leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
Great new day to all my self-care friends and family. Welcome back to another Room to Breathe podcast. I am your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so happy that you've made space to be here with us today. Now, before we jump into today's episode, do me a quick favor. If you're feeling the vibe, go ahead and show us some love. Tap the screen, like, comment. Most importantly, I need for everyone to share this out with someone who could use a little healing energy today. And if this is your first time here, or you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that follow button. Subscribe to our channel so that way you're always tapped in when a new episode drops. I also want to personally invite you to check out our digital home at theselfcareclub.org, where you will find everything you need from affirmative apparel to motivational merch, as well as a ton of free resources to help nourish your growth and remind you that you are supported every step of the way. Just know that you do not have to do this alone. We are healing in community, growing one breath, one moment, one day at a time. So today, I encourage you to give yourself permission to pause, to make space for peace, for growth, but most importantly, for you. And remember, if anything in today's conversation hits home, be sure to drop some green hearts in the chat. That is our community's way of saying, I am healing, I am growing, and I am showing up for me. Now, let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Family, today we are welcoming a woman who speaks truth with purpose and leads with faith. Our guest is Sherrelle Green, more commonly known as Coach Mrs. BluntlySpoken, a life purpose spiritual coach, ordained youth minister, and advocate for youth and families seeking healing, clarity, and spiritual alignment. She is the founder of Bluntly Vibes Creations, where she mentors young people, supports families in need, and offers coaching to those looking to reconnect with their purpose. Sherrelle also creates natural oils, handcrafted merchandise, and she hosts the She's Real Sip and Spill, a traveling space for real conversations, healing, and empowerment. Through her work and ministry, Sherrelle is committed to helping people shift their mindset, trust divine timing, and walk boldly in the calling of their lives. Family, please help me welcome Coach Mrs. BluntlySpoken into the Room to Breathe today. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
Love that. All is well. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking. And before we get into your story, I need to check in with your soul. I want to ask you, how's your spirit doing today, Queen?
All is well. All is well. Aligned, just very grounded for sure. Today was very exciting on top of being able to sit with you and speak with you. So today's just been an exciting day. I cannot lie.
Yeah. Listen, and a little excitement never hurt nobody, you know? In the midst of life, and we can use a little excitement sprinkled in.
Absolutely. I will agree to that for sure. But thank you for asking. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Not gonna lie, life been lifing, but you know, I mean, it beats the alternative, right? Like,
right.
So
Of course.
Take it. Yeah,
we're gonna take the positive out of the negative all the time because everything happened for a reason.
Absolutely. What that song say? Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, right?
Yes.
And we don't mess with Mr. In Between now.
Right.
Let's just jump right into it. Take us back to the beginning. What was the moment or season when you first realized that God was calling you deeper beyond who you were into who you were becoming?
Oh goodness, that takes me to my childhood. I was an ordained youth minister at the age of 11, 12. And then of course, like everybody else, we go through life and we, experience life. And my road as for experiencing life took me down a lot of different avenues. But it equipped me to be where I'm at today. So I would say coming from childhood 10, well, in between 10 and 12 until 2019, I think COVID time.
Mm-hmm.
COVID time was going on. And right then and there was a lot of healing going on. Life had been lifing. Things had then started surfacing, and I had to really find myself. And when you go through, I want to say like life circumstances, heartbreak, just different life circumstances, you call out, you like, God, what? I'm tired of getting my butt whooped. What am I missing? I'm going to work. I'm married. I'm tending my business. Like, what is going on? And just falling before God, just saying, hey, what? And right then and there, my awakening. And it started with numbers, like everybody else say. They're like, oh, I keep seeing these numbers, and it just kept going. And it happened fast for me because it's in me and not just on me. So I want to say around COVID time, 2018, 2019, my spiritual journey just was going. And next thing you know, I redid my license as a ordained youth minister in 2020, but I also had received my life purpose certifications in 2019, and then I became a life purpose a spiritual coach. It's a life purpose and it's a spiritual coach, but I put it together because you got to have both of them. You got to know your purpose, and then you need to have your spiritual walk as well. So life purpose spiritual coach, I got both of those in 2019, but then I got reinstated for my youth minister license in 2020. And from there, business jump. I guess everybody was into business, everybody was doing something that had to do with business. And I just was like, hey, well, what am I supposed to be doing with business? Because I wasn't going to be the one to say, oh, let me go into church. I'm going to stand in front of the pulpit, because that's not the time. Honestly, what we living in is nothing like a religion. A lot of us that's awakening and finding God outside of the building. And that's pretty much where I was aligning to at the time, even though I was raised inside of the church. So I tried that way and just kept going, kept growing, kept healing, kept not being in denial about nothing that life brought my way, not being in denial about losing friends, going through things in my marriage or, work issues. I stayed, focused, and I just, was obedient. I didn't want my butt whooped no more because them life licks was tearing my butt up. So I was like, okay, all right, let me just, it's not what I'm supposed to be doing, clearly, because it's hard out here for a pimp. So I had to figure it out. And that the way I was going, it wasn't the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't the way. And I just found a way to reach one to teach one. Reach one to teach one was pretty much going into business and using my gifts and my talents to be able to get everybody attention.
Yeah. And, that makes perfect sense to me, especially given the climate, from 2018 to present day. Life transitioned a lot for a lot of people. And, those moments that you were speaking of, I think that those are such powerful moments because they often come before we even feel ready. Like you said, you were still navigating the lashings versus the lessons, you know what I mean? Right. And I think that, sometimes a calling shows up in, sometimes just the way we speak the truth, right? Even before we understand why we're being pulled to a certain direction or led a certain way. When did the bluntly spoken part of your identity show up? Was it something that was born from pain, an awakening, a confirmation? Like, where'd she come from?
All of that, what you just said, to be honest, all of that. But I had to put things in perspective because I lead with kindness and love, but I'm a little rough around the edges, and I don't need nobody to feel like I'm being disrespectful when I speak to you or when I deliver whatever it is. So I need you to know before you get into what you're getting into. So Miss Bluntly Spoken was born around that time. So I was like, okay, everybody knows Sherrelle. but everybody wasn't receiving Sherrelle either, because they knew Sherrelle from the club, they knew Sherrelle from work, they knew Sherrelle from, just life.
Yeah.
So when Miss Bluntly Spoken arise, she came from, she's the healed version of everything that I've been through. So I'm able to use that name to say, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to take it as, oh, she being rude, oh, she being disrespectful, or whatever these sensitive humans be going through. I had to put it in perspective, because it wasn't being received as Sherrelle. When you hear Sherrelle,
Yeah.
But Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken, oh, who that is? Oh, what's she talking about? And where it came from, I was smoking back then. So it kind of, it kind of was aligning together some kind of way. It wasn't in a dream. It just came to me, like how my creations just come to me.
Yeah.
It's like, it just came to me, and it was so fitting. It's so fitting from what I do and how I speak, and with the clients, and when I'm dealing with the kids, when I'm dealing with the family, you know what you're getting into.
Right.
When you deal with me, because it's bluntly spoken.
Exactly.
With all due respect.
Yeah. It's like, it's the no disrespect before you even say what you need to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's interesting how, the very traits that people once misunderstood about us often become the tools that God uses most powerfully. You have mentioned to me before that your calling chose you, not the other way around.
Nope.
What did surrender look like in that stage of your life?
Trials and tribulations, heartbreak. Trials and tribulations, heartbreak. I surrendered. I just was like, all right, okay, I'm tired. Yeah. I mean, after you try so many different things, and after you've done so many different things, it's just like, okay. But again, when it's in you, you can't run from it anyway. God gonna keep saying, hey, it's just gonna happen. And I guess they call us the chosen ones. The chosen ones can only go but so far before you snatch back. So, and I just happened to be one of those ones. And no matter what I did, no matter what corner I went around, it was a brick wall. No matter what friend, brick wall. Even me and my husband, brick wall, until I surrendered.
Yeah. And surrender is such a sacred word, but the process of getting there, I think what a lot of people don't understand, can be deeply uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's just like, I look at that whole transition from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Yes. That chrysalis phase, baby, that is ugly. It is messy. It is dark. You know what I mean? And I think that, that our spiritual awakening often requires us to face parts of ourselves that we didn't even realize we were holding back. You know what I mean?
That's true. And what you use that terminology about the butterfly, a part of my logo for Sherrelle Sip and Spill is about love and transformation, but it's a half of a butterfly wing and the other part of the heart. And they connected together because it's all about love and transformation. Yeah. We speak on a lot of unspoken things with Sherrelle Sip and Spill, and she real is Sherrelle, she real. So, it kind of
I love it.
Coincide with it, and I did the Sip and Spill because the first party I did, it was like a passion party, and I packed out the house, and it's a freaking world we living in. My husband always say, sex sells. So the Sip and Spills kind of, you just have to be there to see it. But I'm always delivering a message at the same time. We may have a good time, we may, whatever, but I'm delivering a message at the same time. I'm speaking on something. I knew that, but you ran from that. But now here you go, your confirmation. You better listen, So I love what you said about the butterfly because I use that.
Yeah. And I love, first of all, I didn't even catch your name in it, but then I also I think it's a triple meaning because she real. You know what I mean? So it's like that ties back into the bluntly spoken. And so every single encounter that I've had with you, I'm like, yeah, she real. So not even realizing what all of that was. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
I just want to give back to everybody or the world or the universe what I needed in my time. You know, because nobody but God, higher power source, Jah, Yahweh, whatever they may want to call it, was the one that helped me come out of those dark places, come out of that dark spot, come out of that troubling mindset. Nobody didn't help me. So now that I've learned and I'm growing and continue to evolve, I'm just giving back. Like, this is what I needed. So let me be that for you.
Yes.
Even these kids, these teenagers, I had a rough teenage years. So when I come across a troubled teen, I was a troubled teen. So I can communicate with you. Not saying I'm not gonna parent, but I be doing my thing, you know, where I'm able to break through when it comes to them because I was that person before. I have an ebook. I was you.
Yeah.
And it's for the teens. But it's for adults too. I have adults that buy it. They be like, oh, I needed it. I know. Yeah. I know. Because it's dealing with your childhood.
Yeah. And that just gives me chills, sis, because literally everything that I'm doing today, this whole Room2Breathe project, the self-care club, literally came from my darkness. And when I was going through it, you know, that whole take me through there, girl, life was taking me through there. Okay. And I was just like, I don't even know, like, this was an issue. Like, what is happening here? You know, and I just remember waking up one day and it was like somebody turned off all the lights. Yes. And I was like, why am I sad? Why am I depressed? What's going on? Because on the outside, I'm happily married. Yeah, I'm like, I'm happily married, got a great job, live in the suburbs. Like, so then I'm like, something really wrong with me because now I'm thinking I'm being ungrateful. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you have the life that women dream about.
Right.
What is the problem? We taking trips, leaving the country. Like, girl, why are you sad? You know?
That was the surface. The surface.
Exactly. And I just remember saying, you know, God, if you can get me out of this, I promise to be a beacon of light to somebody else. Like, Lord Jesus, I'm going to pay it forward. I ain't never want to pay it forward so hard in my life. But I was like, because this is a mess. Started getting.
And I haven't looked bad.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, I started getting through it. And then I was just like, hold on. Like, we all going through this, you know, and that's where the whole healing out loud came from. And so when you said that, I was like, oh, she just gave me chills because that's the same thing that happened to me. And I think it's crazy that a lot of the women that I've talked to, we were born like this person that we are now. We were born just before COVID. And I'm like, because the world needed us. You know, I'm not going to toot my own horn. So I'll pat you on the back and toot your horn. But girl, like, the world needed us for real.
So serious. Yeah. And I see it daily. And I love to tell, you know, certain people that come in to like book me and they like, you deal with relationships because you're married. They swear we got all the keys to the city. We might do, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say, oh, I know it all because I'm 17, 18 years in. I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is I'm not bashing neither the woman or the man or the woman and the woman or the man and the man. I'm not bashing either side because if you're working on yourself and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you'll be aligned to what's supposed to be for you. And when if it's not for you, then it ain't no worry. Like, what we doing? You know, But I'm not going to say, oh yeah, he wrong. What you doing?
Right.
We focusing on the wrong thing. So I always redirect. And some of them don't come back and some of them continue to book because, you know, everybody don't be ready for the truth.
Yeah, listen, you ain't got to tell me. Because sometimes I just be sitting there looking at my clients like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? But tell them you don't get no demure and cutesy coach no more. Girl, what the fuck are we doing?
Right. Because it's for. I tell people, like, what? Who is this for?
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you're trying to convince me or yourself because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all.
It ain't nobody perfect. There's nobody on this earth perfect. Nobody. I don't care how well put together we are and how much we have learned, how much we have grown. We still trip up. Mm-hmm. It's hard out here for a pimp. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
And it's the truth, you know? So, yeah. I love what I do. I would not, if I could have awakened long before now.
Girl, listen, you wouldn't be able to tell me nothing, okay? If God would have gave me 10 more years in this game, like 10 earlier years in this game.
That's why we look young though, because we took out the time to do the healing that we needed to do. And I know for a fact, I was giving back my years of my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I was giving back that, like when it first got going, I was going into my 40s. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh girl, how old are you? 20 something. And when they tell me that, I'm like, that's when I started my healing.
Yeah.
I got those years back, but that's how it happens, especially when you do it the correct way.
Yeah.
And now
that makes sense.
In my 40s.
That makes sense, because when I tell people like that, no one believes I'm 47. I'm proud to say I'm 47, baby.
Girl, you better listen.
You said, throw the whole phone away, child. No, seriously. I just turned 47, and everybody was like, I would have gave you like maybe early to mid 30s, girl. And I'll be like,
early 30s. What?
Yeah, we're 47 up in here. My husband says I'm a vampire. It's cool. He like, you aging backwards, girl. We might be. Yeah,
it's because we did the healing, we did the work. Yeah. Girl, you beautiful.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. That black don't crack.
It don't. It really don't. It really don't. Especially, and like I like to tell people, we may red the streets, but the streets ain't run us.
Period. Because I refuse to look like what I've been through, baby. Okay, you're not gonna say I was for the streets. Now
I really do got some war wounds now, because I've been a warrior all my life. I beat a bitch up. Yep. So I always had that about me. That's why Coach Miss BluntlySpoken has that name too, because it's like, look, don't come over here trying me either. I may have switched sides, I may have sat down a little bit, but now I know how to go to God and let God spin the block for me. But I may have some war wounds, but I don't look nothing like what I've been through.
Exactly.
Yep. So I feel you on
it. So what would you say the hardest truth, or what was the hardest truth that you had to confront about yourself during your spiritual awakening, and what did that truth set free?
Acceptance. Acceptance. Mm-hmm. Because it was hard for me because of the lifestyle that I lived, where I was coming from with that lifestyle, and where I know I was going, where I'm headed. It's like, oh God, they finna talk about me like a dog. Oh God, these people, it was acceptance for me. It was me. I had to really build my self-esteem. I had to really build my confidence. Like, I really had to go back like a teenager and redo that all over again. So I would say acceptance was the hardest thing for me, being accepted.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Especially when we transition, it's such a drastic transition, just like the caterpillar and the butterfly. They look nothing alike. You know what I mean? So that's, I think, the way when as coaches and things like that, when we're born or when we're reborn, right? We then have to say, okay, who gonna listen to us? Like, because my girl's like, girl, we was just in the club, last month, and I'm like, that's cool, but like, now I feel a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that anymore. And I think
it really changed my identity. My whole identity changed. My hair, everything about me changed. I just remember waking up and was like, this ugly, and then next thing you know, it just continued to grow. And my transformation, I was called everything, a witch. I was called all kind of things just because I started to look different. I looked nothing like they remember me. Look at like everything. My whole identity changed. I can honestly say that.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes it has to. We have to shed layers, and that's the beauty of evolution too. People get so stuck and attached to one particular version of themselves or someone else, and fail to realize that everything goes through cycles. The seasons change. So, baby, I'm not winter anymore. I'm spring today, and next week I'm going to be summer, and then I'm going to embrace the fall. Exactly.
Right. When
We in them
someone
streets.
gonna pop out. Yep.
You like, we out them streets.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And I was when you said something about the club, no shame to anybody that go to the club. I have no problem with that because I still love my music. I am a Megan Thee Stallion fan. Okay.
Period.
I love me some Cardi B. Okay. But
Yeah.
it's just about the vibrations. It's all about the energy, you know. And when you go in certain areas, when you have, like you said, reborn, when you have shed it and you have grown and evolved, you can't go certain places no more.
Yeah.
You just can't, and you ain't even gonna feel comfortable. You're not even gonna feel right, and that's where I'm at in life. Me and my husband do date night. We may go certain places, but certain atmospheres, I'm like,
Yeah. The go to the club because it's Friday night just ain't it no more. You know what I mean?
I did that. Shoot,
Yeah. Girl, I did that way too soon. Okay. Like, I was in the club I was supposed to be in the club. So
Curious.
I didn't get to enjoy it when I was supposed to because I was done enjoying it ahead of time.
Look, we had a teenage club back where I used to live, and baby, I was in that club until I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Cool, but at the end of the day, nah, it's just, I can do what I'll be in my house. I turn my radio on and dance,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's just certain atmospheres because everybody's intentions is not the same. It's just the energies and the spirits that people carry, the entities, they be ready to attack you. And baby, I don't got time no more.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing that I learned. Because I always knew that I was very in tune with people, being an empath, but I never have claimed that. And nor do I really to this day. I think I am just deeply empathic to people, but I don't be running around here like, oh girl, I'm an empath. Because I don't want it. Baby, I don't want it. And I don't need to tell the devil I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? Because people run around be like, oh, I'm an empath. The devil be like, get her.
Yeah.
Go ahead, get her.
On purpose. It's like a whole target.
Yeah, but I had to learn I can't go and do all those things anymore because of that energy that was coming to me. And so now it's like, girl, I could get to the parking lot and be like, I look cute. Right. Let me get a selfie real quick because I'm going back home. Or I'm going in, boom, get a drink. Happy birthday. Mm-hmm. See y'all later. Take a picture. Girl, we gotta go.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm sending that
much.
Yeah, I'm sending that text message before we get there to say, girl, I'm on the way, but we can't stay long.
Right.
I need my way out because
I agree.
I just don't feel it no more. Yeah.
And I'm like,
and sometimes in those moments of truth, you know what I mean? I think that becomes our turning point. When we try to force ourselves back into the old things or we slide back into what was comfortable and we recognize like this ain't it. I don't even know why I'm here. Yeah. Right. And once you realize that things have shifted, I think that's like that right there is the key moment where everything else going forward changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I know a lot of women experience a moment where God shifts their entire life direction. Yep. And, thinking about that, what was your blunt wake-up call? The moment that God made it clear to you that you were on assignment.
I was about to lose everything. And when I say lose everything, I'm talking about everything that mattered to me. Mm-hmm. When that hit it again, I called out like, hey, what I'm doing wrong? What I'm supposed to do? What's going on? And I think anybody in that mindset that has church in that with the church, they know you're supposed to go to the altar and be like, oh God, please help me. And I think that was one of my moments. And I don't even know a better way to explain it. It was just me about to lose everything. Yeah. Everything from relationship to job to mindset, everything, just about to lose it all.
Yeah. And when you accept that assignment, it doesn't just change your work, it changes how you move in every single role in your life. How did stepping into this spiritual leadership changed the way you showed up as a woman, a mother, a healer, an entrepreneur?
I want to say when I accepted my calling and walked divinely in my purpose, my whole world changed. So the type of friends, the company I kept, I got a new man, but I'm still married to the same man. The jobs, like I couldn't have certain type of jobs. Like I had to be more in the house, just like I kind of like closed in, like solitude was like for a couple of years. As far as my parenting skills, like everything changed. My way of talk, the way I eat, everything changed. Like it's a lifestyle. People think you're supposed to pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. No, it's a lifestyle. So when it happened to me, everything changed. Everything changed about me. Everything. The way I think, the way I feel, just everything. I don't even know. It's like I eat, sleep, walk. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And, something that we talk about often, in healing spaces is obedience. Like it's something that constantly comes up. And I think for a lot of people, it sounds simple, but for those who are actually being obedient, and walking it out in real life, we know that it can stretch you in ways that you never expected. I think that obedience is easy to talk about, but harder to live. But they say it's easy to preach 10 sermons than it is to live by one. So what is one act of obedience that has, changed the course of your life or even your business?
Oh my goodness. Obedience is better than sacrifice, right? So I was already at that point of losing it all. So obedience is just like being disciplined. When you discipline it, it comes natural. For me, I guess I was the little girl that didn't never like to get in trouble anyway. I didn't like to get my behind whooped anyway. So once I started noticing that I was getting my butt toe up, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that no more. So even though, like you said, it's hard, but it kind of came natural for me. Now I struggle in areas like drinking, or like I said, I was a smoker. I had became a smoker, and the same way I'm saying that God, John, higher power, source, Yahweh, whatever they want to call it, was the one that brought me out of things. Was the same way to help me stop doing those things too. Meaning, if me being a smoker, all of a sudden I'm started dealing with paranoia. I wasn't dealing with paranoia before. What's the problem now? Okay. That's not something I need to be doing no more.
Yeah.
I've reached a limit in my life or a level in my life. I've grown where I don't need it no more because it was something I was using as an element to help do, whatever, heal or get through something or figure out something, whatever that was. And it had got to the point where it was helping with my creativity too. But then when it started shifting with the mindset, I'm like, okay, this guy saying, hey, okay, no more. That's it. You don't need that no more. Put that down. So I want to say, just because I think I just one of those kids that just don't like to get in trouble. So the obedience came a little natural for me when I realized what was going on.
Yeah. And, that's the thing I always try to tell people when it comes to, your habits, right? Whether it's drinking, smoking, whatever it is, when that God is trying to pull you away from something, like, and it's not for somebody else to tell you, oh, you can't love God and do this. Yeah, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I can. I can do all the things and still love the Lord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the religious mindset.
Exactly. And so you have the churchy people who try to condemn you and judge you and do all the things that the good book tells us don't do, be the first one to cast a stone, knowing they got a whole backpack of sins. But
exactly,
so I just try to tell people, like, timing is everything. But what God has for me and the time that he has it for me may not align with you. So you can't look at somebody else and say, oh, I should do this, unless you sit with it, unless you pray on it, unless you get that download too. And I think that's why a lot of people go back and forth or struggle with the, the addictions and the just the negative desires for certain things.
Right.
Because I tell people, I'm like, hey, I don't believe that God is going to love you any less because you smoke a blunt.
No.
Baby, smoke your blunt. What they say, God put this on earth for me.
We were not here hurting nobody. We won't hurt nobody.
Exactly.
Certain people, we transition. I mean, you got people that do herbs versus the herbs is actual like flowers or something, the lotus flower, the bee seeds or whatever they call it. It's different ones, and they roll it up and they smoke that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, to each his own. But I did have my phase, and I think that's the only thing that I can really speak on or elaborate on as far as what you're asking me, because everything else it was natural. Like I was like, I don't want to go through that. Oh my goodness, I learned my lesson, and that's why I teach too. Learn to grasp the lesson, or you're gonna keep repeating that cycle.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't learn that lesson, then you're gonna keep doing it. So and then it's gonna keep pop you in the back of your head. So if you learn that lesson, you're not gonna repeat that cycle. Because you know better. Like they say, you know better, you do better. Absolutely. And I just happen to be one of those ones.
Yeah. And I think the thing too, when it comes to obedience, is that people don't understand that obedience doesn't immediately come with results. It's not I did this, here's an immediate reward.
Right.
There are literally seasons where the timing feels slow or uncertain. And, I think that people need to really understand that. That's why it's so important that, we pray, we wait. We're waiting for the download. We're listening for what steps to take next, what to do next. And, I think also too, like discernment becomes essential in those moments, because as you're hearing voices, people need to understand that not every voice speaking into your life is meant to guide your path, because the devil talk a good game.
Come on now.
And he sound real smooth, and he can throw up a sign on a billboard real quick too.
Right. And it feel good too.
Listen, just ask Eve, okay?
Right.
Just ask Eve how slick that snake is.
Right.
But and so I think that people just need to really take the time to understand that aspect of it, because we live in a very copy paste type of society where, I see this person doing it, I'm gonna do it too.
Right.
And that's fine if that's what's for you.
Right.
But if it's not, then you're just kind of like forcing it, and then you may actually be blocking what's for you. Because God has a gift for all of us. We all have special talents, but you just need to actually find yours. If you look at somebody else and you see them successful, then let their success be what drives you to go be successful, not the thing that they're doing made them successful. Because everybody always say, oh, well, coach, how'd you do it? I just did it. I did it.
Right.
Like, no, but how'd you do it? I woke up and I did it.
It's a lot of people that's disobedient too, because they don't understand that. See, I understand what you're saying. I woke up and I did it, and I just continued to do it. And a lot of people be like, but how? What you mean how? I just did it, I don't know no other way to say that, but I think it has something to do with obedience, and sacrificing and letting go. A lot of people have problems with that, and because of that, they struggle. They stay stagnant.
Yeah. And I think too that comparison trap, because like, the society that we live in, we have this beautiful thing, with social media and a way for us to connect. But if you're not careful, you get trapped in that whole comparison trap. And people fail to understand that comparison is literally the thief of joy. It will rob all of your joy, because we spend all day scrolling people's, highlight reels. Right. And then our life, even though our life may be great, we're like, oh, it doesn't look like that. Oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, girl, just
for real.
But Rihanna said, live your life. Like,
for
don't
real.
worry about it.
Seriously, I remember in the beginning when I jumped out, and I want to say it was more of the area that I was living in. Everybody around me, I want to say, caught the creative business bug, and everybody was doing it, but nobody wanted to deal with real. And I just was like, well, dang, she doing what I'm doing, or she doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I went through a phase like that. But then I also had to understand too, like what you said. Sometimes when, and I'm gonna speak it in a different term, when the low vibrational things, they have gifts too. And they come here to operate, to do what they supposed to do too. And that's when I realized I was different. I've been told that since I was a little girl, like you different. My initials was SVS, someone very special. Back then I was told that as a little girl. So when I realized that, I'm like, well, dang, I want to, do an event with them. I'm a motivational speaker. I was empowering then, like, and nobody ain't what did with me. But when I realized why, I was like, oh, okay. Thank you for the redirection. Thank you for the protection. So, I get it.
Yeah, I'm always like, God, thank you for covering me when I didn't even, know that I needed this. Thank you for being, the very thing that I never even knew that I needed or wanted or, deserved for that matter. And yeah, I think that, once you stop, being, when I say like of the world, I'm talking about like literally once you just pause. Yep. It's not, being hypocritical. I'm not trying to be like on some high horse when I say that, but it is once you stop doing the things that aren't for you in the world, whatever it is, be it clubbing, drinking, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Even scrolling, like doom scrolling, comparing, those are also things too, judging, just all the things, because every single one of us has something that we need to work on. We all have something that we need to do better or be better about. When I say like stop being of the world, that's what I'm really referring to.
That's what I'm referring to too.
Thank you.
I was just speaking about that with a client. I was like, even the BIBLE, our guide, says that, you live here, but don't be of it. And that comes with facts. And the more you elevate, the more you evolve, you understand more what that means. Even down to when we was coming up, they would say, don't listen to that music. You don't need to be listening to that music. Well, why can't you listen to that music? Why? Because of the lyrics, because of the beat to it, everything, vibrations, it comes with a lot. But the more people be sleep and they don't be understanding it. But again, the more you evolve and the more you grow, you understand those things. Why we was told those things.
Yeah, it's like they meant well, but they had the best of intentions with it, but like grandma said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You got to elaborate. You got to give us a little bit more.
Come on.
And I think that's what left many of us even walking away from the churches, because there's a good message. There is a good word. I believe that the roots are good. But baby, we got to see something sprouting up at some point. Like you got to start answering some questions for people and stop shaming people for asking questions.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, we're all just out here trying to figure out how to discern. You know what I mean? Like how to discern God's voice from fear, from ego, from the outside noise. And so the very people that we turn to ask the questions, when they ain't got answers, we like, hold on, maybe you not the voice either. Like maybe you not the right messenger for me. And so that's, one thing I admire about your journey is that your calling didn't show up in just one lane, right? Your calling expanded into multiple ways of serving. And that's so funny with what you just said, when you said, you kind of started out and you like, so, Mike Jones back then didn't want me, now I'm hot. You're all on me.
Calling me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so you have, figured out this way to beautifully diversify your offerings. You've got the mentoring, the oils, the merchandise, the outreach, the coaching, the sip and spit. Like I thought I was a booked and busy lady, but honey, you over there doing it. What
and people be
guided
like,
you?
I told you I don't like to get my butt whooped. So
True
when
that.
like we like to say, when the download comes, I sit with it. I pray
Mhm.
about it. And I'm like, okay, to make sure this is what's been given to me to do, because sometimes we could jump out there and do things and it don't work. And then you'd be like, well, it came to me to do. It was an idea, but sometimes that ain't what that means. It could be for me to give to you. And
Yeah.
that has happened to me a lot of times. I could dream it, I could envision it. It could be a download, and I could just have a normal conversation with someone. They were like, that's my confirmation. Whole time I'm thinking, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? And it was for somebody else. So I had to learn how to decipher in between that too. But God in me, I had to stay before God. I learned to meditate. I learned to silence the noise so I could hear clearly. When I learned to ground myself and understand what's for me, it comes easily. Everything just started aligning. Everything started aligning. And my biggest question, or my biggest thing when I jumped out, was like, I know my calling. I know who I am. Since I was a little girl, I know I walked away. I know I had these different paths, these different lanes that I was in, that equipped me again to be who I am today, because I speak different languages. And I'm not saying that like I don't speak English. I'm saying I speak different languages, meaning if I need to speak to a stripper, I can talk to her too. If I need to speak to these troubled teens, I can talk to them too. If I can speak to an alcoholic, if I need to, I can. If I need to speak to the one that loves to smoke weed, I can't. Like, I got different, you know what I'm saying? And there's no judgment. I have a non-judging bone in me, because who am I to judge? So
Exactly.
how I was able to, I just asked, like, how? I'm not for to go in the church and stand in front of the pulpit and hold the mic. They're not listening to that. They don't want to hear that. They're looking at them people like, what you talking about? You know, there's how I know you know what you're talking about. So I just really had to figure out a way to reach one, to teach one.
Yeah.
So that's why it seems worldly, but it's not.
Yeah.
The only way I can put it.
No, and that makes sense, because I mean, God gives us the gifts, but the gifts aren't for us. They're for us to then put back. So I think that we can go in the world, but not be of the world. I mean, what's the difference in, mentoring, when they go out into the community, into a homeless community, the addicted communities, and they still spread, God's word. So why is it so different? If I want to coach, whoever, I don't want to put a label on any particular thing, but if I want to coach a particular group of people who are typically shunned, why not? Because who am I to tell them that God don't love them? Because I believe that the God that loves me, and if he can love me, why can't he love them, regardless of what they've done?
And that's why I tell people I speak from experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I don't know, we're gonna go find out. We're gonna seek God. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get the answers. So I speak from experience. That's why I say I have so many different lanes and avenues of languages that I can speak.
Yeah.
Even if you pay attention to the content, and if you notice the music that I use, it'd be some cussing, it'd be all kind of stuff going on, but it'd be the message.
Yeah.
It'd be the lyrics of what is being said, and I'm using it because I got your attention. Now pay attention. Sometimes they be paying attention because they be looking at this, and I'll be quick to say, don't pay attention to the message, because I'm not what you see. That you looking at this, but pay attention to the message. But I use certain things to get their attention.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, again, I get it. Those who know, we know. Right. So it's like, I really get that. And even me, like when I try to do, I know that, people love toxic stuff. Like, I don't know why. Okay. But we love it. It's entertaining. Okay. We try to keep the drama out of our life, but we got to go get some drama somewhere. And so I would do these things. I would host these Toxic Tuesdays, and I would find the most toxic mess that I could on social media. And I would take it, and I'm advertising. Oh, we talking about such and such today. We doing this, right? And so my people are like, hold on, because I'm like, shh, just come on in and work with me. Just give me a minute, right? And then I would take that situation and then unpack it to get down to the root of it. Let's talk about the self-care in it. Let's talk
Come
about
on
the healing.
now.
You know? Yeah. And it's like, I'll say, okay, like I'll give an example, like with, okay, we'll say Diddy, right? For lack of something else. And that was as toxic as it could get for a moment, right? And there's so many levels to that. And so I would start to unpack it like, okay, but why do we think he's like this? What do we think he's battling? You know, and even though a person, him or anyone else, right? Even though a person, as evil as they may seem, as bad as, you know, the act that they have done or may have done, they're still a human being, and we're still, I'm a sinner. Sin is sin. So we're all descendants from the sinners. So it's like, who are we to still judge that person? That person still deserves, you know, a certain level of humanity. And that's the message that I always try to get to people, that, you know, even the worst of criminals, they still deserve humanity. And I think that that's something that society just doesn't give people enough. So when I did the whole Toxic Tuesday, I was like, this is about to be clickbait. Let me go on and get them in the room. They came in here and was like, imagine she preaching and coaching, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, you getting a message. It's a message under all the mess.
That's how I am. Like one of my sip and spills, I had the vendor there that sells sex toys. Come on, because we finna talk about STDs, and I ain't talking about the ones you go to the doctor about.
Girl, listen, right? Listen, and see, I'd have flipped all of that, honey, because I'd have been like, okay, so now let's talk about why you keep chasing them boys, right? Let's talk about why you keep doing this. So we over there like helping, healing from the inside out, because that's what we need. You know, and those are the conversations that we need, because nobody's having them. You know.
Nope. But, and when you speak about Diddy, I definitely wouldn't have. He would never be a person to judge. Like I have a close friend that's a close friend of his, and that's with the group that he had. That's childhood homegirl. Like that's one of my homegirls. So I know the inside scoop, and I just be like, pray for him. Just pray for him.
I mean, and that's just the thing that I think with all the people, because at the end of the day, you know, regardless of what we go through, and I mean, I even think about people who have, like, let's say childhood trauma. You know what I mean? And so you had somebody at an early age who maybe wronged you, right? We still, not for us to accept what they're at fault for, but then we have to accept, okay, this happened when I was 12, right? I am 42 now. What role do I play in me still suffering from what initially happened at 12? Because like for the last 30 something years, why have I been ducking and dodging therapy? Why have I been ducking and dodging this? So that person may have wronged me when I was 12, but at some point I have to take accountability to say I'm not healed yet, because I haven't healed yet.
That's right.
You know, that's the thing that I try to get people to understand. I'm not saying that what happened was your fault. Right. I'm saying the reason why you have not healed yet is all on you. It's all on you.
I speak about that all the time, because baby, let's heal. Like everybody come from something. Everybody done been through something, and at the end of the day, you know, it's you. It's your part to grow from that, to heal from that. You know, face it, deal with it, grow through it as you heal. I speak on that. I have a group on Facebook. The childhood trauma is the topic, because we need to talk about it. And it's people that still struggling, and they in their old age still struggling with something that happened when they was 5, the 12, the 10. And you like, listen, come on. You missing out on life because you haven't took accountability and initiative to start doing the steps that you need to take to be able to, you know, just live. Live, forgive, live, you know?
And people have to understand, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. It's about you being able to let go. Because until you learn how to forgive, until you learn how to let go, until you understand that nothing changes, if nothing changes, then you're going to sit and you're going to be miserable, and it's going to tarnish everything you do.
That's right.
Everything. From your relationships, how you raise your kids, how you running a business and you got a good thing going, but you got a nasty attitude and people feel your energy.
And here you come being triggered from the things that you don't need. Yes, I've just made some content about this. It sounds like me talking about the it was on me to talk about these very things that we're speaking about. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. It's needed. Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah. And so going back into business, I know that there was a time, that your business allowed you to stop working, right? Things were taking off. And then, of course, life got to lifing, and, in order for us to keep living life, right, we got to maybe go back and start from the bottom again or start over again. What did that? Exactly. What did that season teach you about humanity, faith, and sustainability?
It taught me, that's a good one. It taught me to basically get out the way, because I always was in the way. Got to have some type of controlling mechanism to make sure it's going a certain way, like an OCD type thing. So I had to learn to get self out of the way. One, because self was making things harder. I don't want to say stop being so friendly or stop being so nice or easygoing. I don't want to say that, because I always leave with kindness and love first. But a lot of those things, people take advantage. And me doing the things how I used to do it, that caused me to have to go back into the work field to get back to where I'm at now, was because of just perseverance, like just letting people walk up, just doing the most. And I had to learn to separate. I had to do a lot of cutting off. I had a lot of letting go. And it just taught me to stay focused, stay grounded, keep God first in everything. If you can't take God with you, then what you going for? What you doing that for? So that was another butt whipping. Yeah. That was another butt whipping when I had to go back to the drawing board, like, hey, all right, what I did wrong? Where did I mess up? And then I also had to take that time to learn the legal aspect, because I didn't have nobody to teach me the legal part, to say, hey, you need to make sure you're paying paying for your business license, making sure the IRS and all that. A lot of that came in effect. So that time frame, we still the student at the end of the day, and I never regret that part. But I think I want to say that, I had to grow up. Yeah, I had to grow up. I'm spoiled rotten. I had to grow up.
Yeah, and that kind of experience can really refine your overall perspective of success. In a world that is obsessed with fame and fast money, how do you keep your work anchored in purpose rather than profit?
Oh, that was a hard one, because I never wanted to put a price on my gifts. I never wanted to put a price on what God has given me to do. So I was hurting myself more than helping myself. But chasing the fame, I don't want that anyway. That's not even my we just happen to live in a world that give us this platform to be able to reach a larger, audience and things in that nature. So it comes with the territory, but fame, we learned a lot with the industry. So for me, I'm like, I don't even want that. That's not nowhere near I want to touch. I want to continue to be free. But I wouldn't necessarily just say, oh my goodness, just as far as the protection, because when you have the gift of discernment, you just like, okay, that's not for me. I can't do it like that. And learning to put a price on certain things, like my coaching, with the clients and stuff, or when people book me to do the Sherrelle Sip and Spills, it just made me feel like I was being a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she doing it for the money, or she banking. I had to really, like, I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, because when I started, coaching, for example, like I could not put a price on it. So then I used the excuse, I'm new. Let me give some free sessions under my belt. Girl, 2 years later, I'm still new giving out free sessions. And I think what did it for me, God started having people playing in my face. which pissed me off. And it took me to be like, because I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. And then I stopped like, then why you don't act like it?
And that's what I'm saying, that time frame where you say what got me to say I had to go back to the drawing board, that I dealt with a lot of people playing in my face, playing in my time, with my time, it just was taking for granted what I was bringing to the table. And I just had to put a stop to it. I did. I had to. It make you feel like you're losing, but nah, I gained so much by doing it the right way afterwards. So
yeah. And I love that, because like even for me, I just look at it like I'm just gonna do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like God tell me to do something, I'm gonna just do the work, and I'm gonna trust Him to make it grow. If He tell me to plant the seed, I'm gonna be like, cool, like this the right dirt, like because I don't even know what kind of seed this is, Lord. So like, is this the right dirt? How many times you want me to water it? In fact, you know what? You don't even want me to water it. You gonna make it rain? Okay, God, I see you. Yes. You do that. And I'm gonna let Him handle the growth. And so when it comes to like the financial part, I'm just like, listen, God provides. Yep. I think about during the pandemic, my family thrived when a lot of people were struggling and suffering, So I know that one of the most beautiful parts of purpose is seeing the lives that you've touched because you chose to be obedient and say yes. And your heart for youth and families is absolutely undeniable. What breaks your heart enough to keep you in the work, even on the hard days?
I can never forget where I came from. I can never forget what I've experienced. I can never forget my dark times, my times that I needed someone.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. So it's like it's not just on me, it's in me. I do this even in my career. Outside of business, I could clock out of my career, and business wise, I'm still doing the same thing. Everything aligns together. Everything. So I can't forget where I came from. I can't.
Yeah, listen, I think that you have shared so much wisdom with us today. Like in just this very casual conversation, like you have dropped such a wealth of knowledge. And I'm a person who I like to always leave our listeners with something that they can carry with them after the conversations end. So if you could leave every listener with one of your blunt truths, okay? Something that would help them walk into their own divine assignment, what would it be?
It would be, oh God, so many things that I could say. So I'm going to stick with self-caring and self-loving, just knowing that it's not selfish. Set your boundaries and learn to master detachment. Learn to master emotional intelligence, because it's going to take you far. And at the end of the day, just make sure you grasp the lesson so you don't keep repeating cycles, because that's where stagnation lives. And I'm gonna just keep it like that.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. You're like, girl, we'll do a whole nother show with this question.
Ooh, yes, ma'am. Because I've learned, and I'm still learning, because I'm still the student at the end of the day. I don't care what my certifications and titles say, what my career, whatever that is, I'm still learning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think we're always learning. It's just like healing, it's not something that you do and you're done. You are going to forever be healing if you choose to. You're going to forever be healing until you die. And that is when we can say, you know what, she healed. She left here better than she was. So no, I think that answer was perfect. And I think that it is going to bless someone at the right moment.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Now, for anybody who's listening today who felt moved by your story and they want to stay connected, where can they find you, follow your work, and learn more about what you have coming up next?
Oh, yes. If you're on social media, you can @ me Everything is the same. Coach Miss Bluntly Spoken. And please, Miss Bluntly Spoken is MRS. Got to put a handle on it. But on all platforms, it's the same thing. As far as my email is empowering in a bluntly spoken way at gmail.com. And I'm gonna keep it like that because everything else aligns. If you go on the if you go on social media, you see my websites. You see everything is there. So if you can find me on social media, it's there.
Absolutely. And family, as always, you know, I made it easy for you. It's scrolling down below. Plus, I'll have all of the links and handles in the bio or in the description, the caption, the bio. It's going to be out there for y'all. Okay. Exactly. I'm going to put it everywhere I can. Okay.
Yeah.
But sis, I want to just thank you for bringing your voice, your truth, and your spirit into the Room to Breathe today. Honestly, I think that your willingness to just speak boldly and serve faithfully is a blessing to everyone listening and everyone who has the opportunity to cross paths with you. So just thank you for being obedient, beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate you for being present so we can align. Because I love coming across people that's like me, because I'm going to hold on to you because ain't too many people that's like me.
Yeah, exactly. I always say y'all my sunshine people. I believe in gravitating towards people who feel like sunshine. Yes. And from the moment that we smoke, I smoke, girl.
I don't smoke no more.
You don't do that no more. I'm up here telling lies like Lord.
Yes,
from the moment we spoke.
Right.
Gotta slow it down. That's why y'all gotta take your time, okay? From the first time we talked, girl, I was just like, she my people. Like, I feel warm and tingly and seen and heard. And I was like, yes, she my people.
I feel come on over. Yes, it's mutual. And I got to book a coffee day with you. So we can chop it up about some things. Yes.
Yeah, they don't know about them coffee times, girl. What? You have to make time for the things that are important for you. And I always tell people like, hey, take that and you do that too. You know, open your calendar and let your people book a coffee chat with you. Celebrate each other's wins. Because I'm telling you, 10 minutes of a wins exchange is so motivating. It is so empowering, you know? So yeah, I'm happy to pour into you whenever you're ready to be poured into, because I know that I'm gonna fill my cup up over there too. So
yes, because you're very motivating. I love to see you and everything. I love your music. I love your gifts. I just be like, yes, God, thank you for letting me meet this young lady. Because what? And to know that you're older than me. That's even more like, yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. And the feeling is definitely mutual. Thank you so much. And keep walking. If there's anything that I can do, you know, you got me, girl. Okay. I am definitely here to be a resource as well. So
me too.
We gonna stay locked in. Ain't no switching up. Okay.
No.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Exactly. Now, family, listen, this was such a powerful conversation. Sherrelle's journey reminds us that purpose doesn't always arrive in a neat package. Sometimes it comes through truth, through detours, or through seasons that stretch our faith and challenge our comfort. But when we stay obedient and trust the divine timing, every step begins to make sense. Today, we were reminded that healing requires honesty, that purpose is bigger than popularity, and that when you walk in alignment with your calling, the right people will always find their way to you. And to our Room to Breathe family, if something today, you know, in our conversation today spoke to your heart, please take a moment to sit with it. I wish that you all would reflect on where God may be calling you deeper, where truth might be asking to be spoken, and where obedience might be opening the next door in your life. Remember that your journey doesn't have to look perfect to be purposeful. Now, before we go, as always, I just want to leave you all with a little extra love and light. I am here to encourage you to keep breathing through the highs, the lows, and every moment in between. I want you to keep choosing peace, even if it feels out of reach. And know that here at the Self-Care Club, you will always be seen, always valued, and always supported. So don't ever be afraid to take up space, speak your truth, and make a little room for you to breathe. I love each and every one of you to life, and I am praying that your day is not just amazing, but aligned, intentional, and yes, on purpose, filled with purpose. This has been another Room to Breathe podcast, and I cannot wait to connect with you all again soon. Thank you.